All right, guys. Injuries for the game. Jair Brown will be out. Ricky Purcell, questionable. Luke Gifford, questionable. D. Winters, questionable. Fred Warner out. Jacob Cowing, questionable. Go ahead.
Did Fred Warner have a setback?
No.
How do you look yesterday?
Look good.
We asked a lot of the players how they felt about his energy being out there again. Did you as a coaching staff also feel it, just him being out there?
I don't pay attention much to that. I mean, it was an individual and stuff, so I don't really, in the meetings and everything, anytime Fred's around, they feel it. So, love having Fred around.
You feel more confident than ever with Fred that he's put himself in a position to be available a week from now?
Yes, I do feel confident in that. We'll see if it works out.
Going into the short week, do you maybe refer to last year where Washington was the 6th seed, they had the short week, played the number 1 seed and won, or do you have your own analysis for what you say to the
Yeah, we didn't say anything. We just changed our schedule accordingly. But yeah, we don't really talk about it.
How do you feel about the way the team practiced this week?
I thought we had a real good week. We got some work in on a short week, which was nice. We did some full speed stuff yesterday, and I think the guys have handled it real well.
We went to the wild card week and you gave a speech about playing out of desperation. How much relevance is that taken into Seahawks this week?
I feel that's kind of our message every week. I feel like that's kind of what's gotten here. I feel like that's I was more about that. I think our advantage in the season is we play desperate every game. I feel like that's what gives us an advantage over most teams that we play against. My message last week was more, that's not an advantage in the playoffs. Every team plays desperate in the playoffs, so be ready for that and understand that when you're going against people.
What have you learned about Eric Kendricks from coaching him that you couldn't learn from coaching against him or just watching him on tape?
I think he kind of just validates and confirms all the stuff that I thought I knew about him. When you don't know someone at all, but I always talk about it with our players all the time. I think you can watch, you can know how a person is. You can see people's character, what type of guy they are by really watching a silent football tape. And I think he's confirmed that. We knew just going against him, it seemed like he was a hard worker. It seemed like he was on it. It seemed like football was very important to him. When you show that stuff on tape, that usually leads to a reliable, accountable, good person that people can rely on. And since he's been here, we've seen exactly that, and seen him on the field last week. Confirmed he's still that same dude.
Were you surprised at how ready he was to go when you finally got him in the building?
You knew he had a chance to because of the style of how he played. He wasn't a guy that, he was always so talented. I think he was a first-round pick. Pretty sure he was. So obviously he was talented. But when you watched him over the decade, it wasn't that you were just always noticing just height, weight, and speed. You're noticing how good of a football player he was. And when someone doesn't have a training camp, doesn't have an off season, doesn't come to any place until week 12 or whatever it was, you'd be very shocked that they could pick it up. But the reason we wanted him is because of the style of the way he played. We thought if anyone could do it, he would have a chance to, and he did that right away. Now, when he had that setback in our bye week and tweaked his calf, that's like, oh yeah, that doesn't surprise me. That's what happens. And I was surprised how he could come back from that and be able to be ready 2 weeks after that and be able to help us out and then pull out a whole game there last week.
What did you see from Ricky this week, and is there a chance if he does play that he's on like a snap count?
Yeah, we want to put him on a snap count, but I saw improvement. He's still battling it, so that's why he's still questionable. But we would never put a guy on an exact snap count, especially in a playoff game. But we also understand where he's at, and that it would probably have to be different than his just true status of when he's 100% healthy.
Is Fred going to make the trip with the team?
What's that?
Is Fred going to make the trip?
Yes, he is. I asked that before I came in this week.
Coach, heading into Week 18, you said there's not a lot of secrets between Seattle and you guys are division rivals and you know each other. Does anything change now that it's a playoff game?
I don't think so. Last time we played them, it felt like a playoff game, and I'd like to say some things change every week because people get hurt and stuff, but they haven't played since then. So we'll see if anything changes when they come out, but I'm sure they'll get some guys back. I know we got some guys back, especially, we didn't have Trent the last game. Hopefully we can get Ricky. But it's probably as similar of a game as you can have in this close amount of time.
Jake Brendle's so valuable to this team, and is there a way to quantify just how much you put on his plate?
I think Jake's one of the better. I think he's one of the better centers in this league. I don't think Jake nearly gets enough credit for just how good of a football player he is. Every year we study free agents, we study around the league, and that's where you get to kind of study people. And I've always been very happy with the center that we have. And when you look into just schematically some of the stuff we ask our center to do with protections, what we ask him to do with run plays, and you don't see our quarterback, any quarterback that I've had, we don't ask them to point out a lot of stuff. We have the center do a lot of that. And Jake is as good as any center I've been around with doing that stuff.
Do you have any update on George after surgery, and have you been able to talk with him?
I talked to him through text. He sent a funny picture of him in his after surgery to my wife. He seemed like he was feeling pretty good, like most people are right after surgery. But I heard it went great. I heard it was a very successful surgery, and could have a chance to come back a lot sooner than we used to think back in the day with Achilles. So it was all good news.
Some players are better than their stats, and Jennings, I think, is probably one of those guys. If somebody hadn't seen Jennings and you were describing him to them, what would you say about him?
A true competitor. Like JJ is one of the best competitors I've ever been around. And he's one of the best receivers I've ever been around, just in terms of how he plays down in and down out. JJ, I thought, was as important as any receiver on our 2023 team. I believed if we won that game, he would have been the MVP. And I think every time we've gone to him, no matter what the situation's been, he's always come through at a high level. JJ had guys ahead of him with Debo and Ayuk for a number of years, but I thought he was he's really who we went to on third down. And the guy who was the most consistent for us in those ways. And he's gotten his opportunity with people not here as a number one receiver. And like any guy who's competitive like JJ, he's risen to that challenge and played like a number one receiver. So ultimate respect for JJ.
How close is Jacob Cowing to being on the field?
What's that?
How close is Jacob Cowing to being on the field?
He's close. He's healthy. So he's had 2 good weeks, and I think we got one more week with him where we got to make a decision. But he's looked real good out there.
When it comes to Brock's 4-0 in Seattle, it's obviously a loud environment. What about Brock managing the game or being loud with his cadence, or just what about Brock allows him to succeed in a loud environment?
I think the big thing is Brock doesn't get rattled. I mean, you can be as loud as you want. They're still probably not going to hear you there, especially if you're in the gun. And then we know they'll be that much louder this week. But I think it's nothing really rattles Brock. He stays the same. As you guys gotten to know Brock in all the situations, I don't think when you guys talk to him, whether he's had a good game, a bad game, I don't think he ever seems much different. He's always Brock, and you feel that on the sidelines throughout a game. I mean, you felt that last week. That's what I thought was so impressive, having that interception with like 8 minutes to go, and we lose the lead, and the way he came back and played the next drive after that is the perfect example of. That's what I mean by, like, you can kind of see people's character, what type of people they are on the silent tape. And a guy who can act like that on that silent tape describes exactly the type of dude he is.
First of all, Kendricks, 2nd-round pick. You got a lot going on.
Did you know that, or did you ask Siri?
Hopkins Award winner at UCLA.
He's a UCLA.
Okay, I gotcha.
Forget it.
Are you sure his brother was 2nd-round pick too, right? He didn't go to UCLA. I think
The Seahawks just listed Darnold as questionable with an oblique. That's obviously could be a big development. Does that change anything? I mean, the possibility, that they could be starting their backup quarterback, could that change anything about your preparation?
No, not at all. No, preparation is, we wouldn't change anything in the next couple of days. I mean, I didn't know that, but I'm definitely not going to think too much of it. But if that happens, we'll react accordingly, which will still be the same football game. All right, thanks, guys.